Yes, man. Welcome back to Poetry and Police. Today is not about any poetry, but definitely I'm going to talk about police. And it's not even about police neither. It's about the things that are happening to police in Jamaica because of the scant regard that, the authorities shown towards police officers and even the citizens of Jamaica in general too. Um, but now there's an incident that happened recently where a policeman lost his life in an accident on the highway. And it doesn't matter when, how, or where a policeman come to his death. And I mean, it always troubles me whenever a policeman dies. And you feel it even when civilians die too, because life is very important, and everybody should have that kind of regard as it relates to life. But this incident kind of just made me feel some kind of way today. Knowing that maybe if certain things were put into place, that the policeman may have been alive today. But his life could have been spared if certain things was in play. And when I say things, let's talk a little bit. Let's discuss this. All right, say there's an accident on the highway. Whether it's a policeman, whether it's a civilian, it doesn't matter. A life is a life, right? The accident occurred, some say about 7 p.m. in the night, and it was not until about 12 that the injured policeman was removed from the scene, or maybe that time he was brought to the hospital, like maybe 5 hours later. And the question is, why it took so long to remove an injured person from the highway? And when I say this, I am talking to the authorities. So you're telling me that Jamaica does not have any form of quick responses as it relates to accidents on the highway. I don't know if these are facts, but as they have been put forward, that after the accident, police could not gain access to the scene of the accident to assist the injured person, mainly because they could not go through the toll. And that is a low down disgrace. And this kind of behavior has been happening for years because the government does not care about police officers. And as a matter of fact, they don't care about even the life of the citizens. Because if there's an accident on the highway, or there's a robbery on the highway, anything can happen on the highway, that police will need access to the highway in order to deal with the situation. You are going to tell me that the police need to pay toll. Mr. Prime Minister, come on, man. These are modern times. Mr. Commissioner, come on, man. You need to sit down with the Prime Minister and discuss these things. Because why would you, how, and why? Why would you let a marked police vehicle pay to go through the toll? The vehicles belong to the government in the first place. Police has to respond to emergencies. So why does a police vehicle need to pay a toll? Mr. Commissioner, come on, you need to sit down with the government before anything like this happen again, or even happen anything close to this again, because it has been happening for a while. Because when I was serving, there was an emergency and we had to go to Portmore, and I couldn't go through the toll because I was in a marked police vehicle with flashers on, and I could not go through the toll. I had to dip in my pocket and pay the money to go through the toll. And I was saying to myself, why is a marked police vehicle, an emergency vehicle, paying money to go through a toll? Because that's how the government sets it. And everybody sits around and they're comfortable with it. I'm sure that some government agencies, big government agencies, them big net man, they have free tags on their vehicle because the government vehicle. So why not the police? In any nation, man, in every country, once there's a toll, the vehicles, the police vehicles, emergency vehicles, ambulances, police vehicles, fire units, should all come down with tags to go to the toll, and the government should not be paying any money to go to the toll. I know that maybe some police will take the police vehicle and abuse the system, but you cannot count on that, because you have to take in consideration if there's an emergency on the highway that the police have to go to, that they won't have to be paying the toll from their pockets. I've been made to understand that only the highway patrol cars have tags to go through the tolls. But most of the time, the highway patrol can't even respond to incidents on the toll road. So why would you give it to the highway patrol alone? Every government vehicle, every police vehicle should have a tag, so we can enter the toll at any time. That is how it's supposed to be arranged. So now the Commissioner of Police need to sit down with the government, and the Police Federation needs to get involved, and there has to be some kind of lobbying in order for this instance, for incidents like these, so they don't happen again. And I am so upset with the whole system. I thought that was changed. When the toll started, it was like that. So I thought it was actually changed, that police vehicle could actually access the toll road without paying toll. Now, let's go back to the accident. I'm not saying the man could have been saved if... I'm not saying that if a vehicle came for the man before time, he would have saved his life. But at least it would have given him more chance to survive the accident if he was moved in time. I've made to understand that the police car went there, but they could not remove the man from the car. And I too understand, because sometimes to move somebody from an accident scene based off the situation, based off the position that they are in, you might cause more injury, so you could not move the person. You would not, but you would have to call an ambulance. People are so trained on a vehicle that is to take him out. What about the fire department? Why weren't they called? Because every emergency, once you call the emergency department, fire truck's supposed to come too. Because suppose it's a situation where the person was jammed in the vehicle so much that they couldn't get out, and they have to be cut from the vehicle. That is where the fire department comes in. So you are going to tell me that an ambulance was called and took 5 hours or 4 hours to respond to an emergency, a serious accident? Come on, man, what does Jamaica come to? So you are going to tell me that anybody has a serious accident on the highway, that the ambulance is going to take 3, 4, 5 hours to get through to them? If this is so, then what kind of country is Jamaica? We are way behind time. So saving people's lives, isn't that part of the emergency services? Saving people's lives is not supposed to be part of the government's responsibility, the police's responsibility to save people's lives? I have saved a lot of lives as a policeman. I responded to accidents. If we can, we remove people from the vehicles if we can. But sometimes you have to be careful, because moving them can cause more injuries than what they have. So you have to be very careful. But what the government of Jamaica need to do, Bridget, and I've been saying it to my friends every time, that I believe that every fire station in Jamaica, in the corporate area, I'm in the country too, every fire station should have ambulance assigned to the fire station, and even nurse too, or paramedics, whatever you might call it, first aiders. Every police station should have a police ambulance that responds to these things. It's easy, It's easy. A highest bus. Some kind of response unit has to be at every police station. Should be at every police station. What are we doing? Are we not thinking about the future? Are we not moving forward? Them say the force is going forward. Every police station should have an ambulance. Highway patrol should have an ambulance. So therefore, if somebody is injured and the police is responding to that kind of call, there's accidents, there's injuries, then the ambulance need to follow too. And tags need to be given to every police vehicle so they can enter the toll without no problem at all. I can't understand this, man. This is such a disgrace. To see a person, not even to say that the man is a police officer. I'm not addressing you people because this man is a police officer. I'm addressing you because he's a human being. It could have been me It could have been you. It could have been any one of us. It could have been any one of our families, our friends, caught in this situation. Lives could be saved if response were quicker. Lives could be saved if the toll road wasn't locked off for police officers. So that's the disgrace. So what are we going to tell the family of this policeman? Because the government has failed the man. The government has failed this policeman. This government has failed this citizen. The Prime Minister has failed this citizen because of his inactions as it relates to emergencies and proper response. I hope the Commissioner of Police, the Federation, along with the Prime Minister, out of this thing, decided, listen, get some vehicles, get ambulance and place them at police stations. Place ambulance at fire stations with properly trained people, trained police, trained firemen, so they respond to these things. You shouldn't take 3-4 hours to get an ambulance anywhere in Jamaica, especially on the highway. And these highways, they have the toll stations. Ambulance should be stationed there with police. A police too. Every toll station, there should be a police post with an ambulance there. Ambulance post too, because that's an highway. That's a highway. That's I can't understand, because you see, Jamaica is a place like this where if you observe, this is the thing that happens in the norm in Jamaica. They build housing schemes, no school, no hospitals, all they see a church and bar, and a place to make money. You don't see nothing else, nothing for healthcare, nothing for emergency actions, no police. No, it's full time. The government needs to understand this. Once that there's a new housing development being built anywhere, a police post should be in that development. A first aid post, a little clinic should be in that development. School should be in that development. Basic school, daycare. But you see, that's the thing. People are just making developments without anything attached. All of them are being passed. Highways are being built with no proper response for accidents, like the one that killed this policeman. I'm not God. I can predict that the policeman would have still been alive if response were quicker. But the possibility is that he may have survived if response was faster. And like I said before, I'm not really talking about police. I'm talking about everybody in Jamaica, every citizen in Jamaica. You don't have to be a policeman. Things need to be put in place, man. We can't keep doing this. And this is time that the Federation sits down with the Commissioner of Police, and, we can't just talk about salary every day and all of this. We talk about benefits. We have to talk about things like these. Police stations needs to have ambulances. Fire stations. All the toll booth where the offices are and ambulance post should be there to react, to respond on the highway, to save people's lives. If you build a highway, you must make a first aid post with a one ambulance that the highway are in charge of, to save people on the highway. Because trust me, accidents do happen. So we need to be ready for these things. And that's the thing, Jamaica is not ready for none of these things. We are talking about moving forward, and Jamaica is not moving forward as it relates to quick responses and stuff like that. No, they're not ready. The police department is not ready for that. We're still not ready to deal with mad people. That's what I'm saying. And it tears me up inside to know that a person has lost their life, and that could have been avoided if there were response to the thing. I read an article about the whole situation, and trust me, tears came to my eyes when I read the article. And I'm not going to say that, I'm not going to blame anybody that the police who came to the scene did not help this. No. We must remember that certain accidents or certain injuries, moving the person is far more dangerous. Sometimes you have to just leave them until the professionals are there with the gurney and all of that to take them up. Because you might move the person and you kill them. Trust me. Because I know how that feels. Because when I was shot and injured, they threw me in a police vehicle because there was an accident on the way to the hospital. And when I got to KPH, they took me up and put me in a wheelchair to sit on the fractured hip. I should be put on a stretcher, they call it, to lay down. They put me in a wheelchair, which was not good for my injuries. So people has to be trained. The reporters at the hospital need to be trained too, because sometimes them kill people because they don't know how to move the people. Everybody then put in a wheelchair. Once you come to the hospital, the first thing push out is a wheelchair most of the time. You should have gurneys, just gurneys alone, because you don't know what kind of injuries the person have, internal or otherwise. So if the police could not move the man from the vehicle, I can't blame them for that, because they would have caused more harm than good. You know what I mean? They're good, more bad than good if they moved him. But the thing that I'm pissed off with is that the response time of the ambulance. This incident goes to show that Jamaica is not ready for these things yet. And we need to at least start trying. The government needs to at least start trying. People have to pay a toll to travel on those highways. So at least the proper protection for life and property should be put in place on these highways. And Mr. Prime Minister, please, man, come on. This is getting too bad now, Mr. Commissioner of Police. You need to have some dialogue with the Prime Minister now as it relates to this, because police vehicles should be allowed to enter the toll. So every police vehicle, any police station, all vehicles must have a tag. Or once a police vehicle drive out, just let them through. Simple. You can't have a country where the police cannot enter the toll without paying. Not no go so. Because a man who comes to work and is assigned to a car for the day, what the man supposed to dip in his pocket and pay toll? What go so? Not no go so. These are the things that need to be changed. Not no go so. You cannot drive a marked police vehicle and respond to shooting, robbery, or respond to something on the highway. Or you go Portmore, go pick up a document. It's a you're in 3 Mile, you're going to Portmore to pick up a document. Police business, and you have to be taking money from your pocket to pay a toll. No, you know, go so we paying enough already. So things need to be put in place. All station heads, they need to address the situation as soon as possible. The Federation need to address this situation as soon as possible. The Commissioner and the government need to address it. This is a situation we cannot allow to happen again. So we need to put things in place. You are going to tell me that every life in Jamaica does not matter? Because, like I said before, it didn't have to be a policeman. It could have been anybody. It could be me. It could be you. It could be anybody's family, anybody's friend. It could be anybody. So I'm not talking just for police officers. I'm talking right now for the whole citizenry of Jamaica. That things need to be put in place. Emergency actions need to be put in place on these highways. And not even highway alone, in communities too. Like I said, every police station should have a first aid, a post with an ambulance attached, a police vehicle attached as ambulance. People are so trained, on duty 24/7, night shift, day shift. Simple. Policeman trained as a first aider, driving the ambulance. So he responds. So if he hears an accident is on the highway, he might try to reach there before everybody else. It's good for more than 1 or 2 ambulance reach. Because you don't know how much people involved in the accident yet. The fire station need to respond same time in case you have to cut people from vehicles. I'm just saying. I'm not smart enough to run Jamaica. I think I'm smart enough to know when things are out of place. What do you think? What Jamaica thinks about this? Jamaica has nothing to say. Most of the time, Jamaica people have nothing to say about nothing that doesn't affect them, you know. But this should affect every citizen in Jamaica. I know it affects police officers, but it should affect everybody in Jamaica. Because these are things that are not supposed to happen in any civilized country. Trust me. I am pissed off about the whole thing, and my condolences goes out to the family of the policeman who lost his life. It's a very saddened day. I know the JCF is feeling it. We should, because he's a colleague. So, but these situation needs to be addressed, and addressed promptly. There are too many accidents in Jamaica, happening in Jamaica, for these things not to be put in place. There should never be a repeat of this incident or anything like this. Trust me. That's all I have to say about the matter. I know my word doesn't count to the police commissioner or the prime minister. But if other people join, my voice will count. Because one don't make it, but a whole body can make it happen. Every police officer and every civilian. People have to jump in and ensure say we get what we are paying our taxes to get. We pay our taxes because we want proper representations. We want to pay our taxes because we want proper policing, proper security, proper health care. That's what we pay our taxes for. So the government need to address these issues as they present themselves. Trust me. Out.